What's good, YouTube? This is your guy, Manny. Welcome to the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. For this video specifically, we're going to talk waiver wire for quarterbacks and tight ends. I already did the videos for the running backs and wide receivers. Feel free to go back and check those videos. So for quarterbacks, we have several quarterbacks that are on bye week this week. And then we also have quarterbacks that are dealing with injuries. Quarterbacks that are on bye week this week is C.J. Stroud, Carson Wentz, and J.J. McCarthy. You have injuries to Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy, Joe Burrow, and McCarthy as well. But we don't know if Brock Purdy comes back. We don't know if Lamar comes back. But here's what you do if you're dealing with quarterback issues, especially in Superflex leagues. If Sam Darnold is out there, you want to grab him. He had a great game last week, a 4-touchdown game, well over 300 yards passing. He looks great, and he has a juicy matchup this week versus the Jacksonville Jaguars in a game which could be a mini shootout. Jacksonville does have a tough defense, and they're playing at Jacksonville. But definitely, if you're looking for a quarterback, Sam Darnold is definitely a good option. You got Tua Tagovailoa out there, especially in a game where they struggled against the Commanders. Who knows? Maybe he might fill in for you. With all these injuries, he could be a piece. I love Mac Jones. Especially if Brock Purdy doesn't play. Mac Jones has looked great all week, and he's playing against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is tough, but San Francisco have a really good team. Bryce Young could be a good start just based off of matchup going against Dallas, weak defense, and this is going to be in Carolina, so that bodes well for him. Dylan Gabriel, if you're extremely desperate, Pittsburgh's defense does struggle versus the quarterback, but who knows? So far, Dylan Gabriel has 3 TDs and 0 INTs, so who knows? This could bode well for you. Trevor Lawrence going against Seattle. Like I said, that could be a mini shootout. T-Law possibly played his best game this past week, and now he has a chance to kind of build up upon that. So that's it for quarterbacks. There's not a lot of quarterbacks out there, but these are just my thoughts. These are who I think could do something. Obviously, there's going to be other quarterbacks out there, but those I wanted to just kind of start with those guys. So let's go ahead and dive into the tight end position. We have T.J. Hockenson being on bye week. We have Dalton Schultz being on bye week. Then we have injuries to guys like Brock Bowers and Brenton Strange being put on IR. George Kittle is a long shot to play this week. Colston Loveland is still dealing with that hip injury. Tyler Higbee, Michael Mayer, concussion. He should be back. And Jatavian Sanders, right? So if you're looking at tight ends, man, Mason Taylor looked amazing this past week. He got me a lot of PPR points, just getting me 9 receptions and 67 yards. That's on 12 targets. So the targets should be there for Mason Taylor, and I'm glad that he's starting to be looked at as the number 2 option on that Jets offense. You have Theo Johnson. He's looking decent. You know, you have Jackson Dart. Maybe they've gotten some reps in the summer. Who knows? But Theo Johnson is a player that you can play. There's tons of tight ends to grab. You have A.J. Barnard. All this guy does is score touchdowns. So he had a great game this past week where he had 7 catches for 53 yards and 2 scores. And he potentially could do something similar this week versus Jacksonville. Then you got Jake Tongs, who has been phenomenal this season with George Kittle being out, especially with all of these receivers being hurt. Jake Tongs could be another, he could have another potential good week. Then you have Harold Fannin, who just sticks around. This guy gets targets. This guy gets touchdowns. This guy is just there. And in a week where you could have lost a tight end, maybe somebody's hoarding tight ends, Harold Fannin could be a guy that you can stick into your lineup for just this week going against Pittsburgh. Who knows? Dylan Gabriel seems to like Harold Fannin. I guess it's that rookie mini camp that they had, that connection there. Evan Ingram finally came into his own last week, getting a touchdown. He's going against the Jets. He could be a potential tight end that you can stick into your lineup. If Colston Loveland is healthy and available, he's a guy who could show up and show out versus the Commanders. Even if it's Cole Kmet, either one of these 2 guys have a potential to play very well versus that weak Commanders defense this week. Also, Michael Mayer, if he's out there and he's available, he could be a guy that can step in for Brock Bowers and give you decent numbers. Hopefully this video helped, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one.